Hi, this is Isha, the mad scientist, with the AirGigs blog. Today I'm going to show you how to prepare your music for stock audio. We're talking loops, stingers, cutdown mixes like 60, 30, and 15s, so that your music can be easily licensed to videographers and music supervisors. When I first started this, it was kind of a long, tedious process, but I picked up some tips along the way that I'm going to share with you today to hopefully make it quicker and easier. Let's dive in. This song is called Free Flowing, co-written by myself and Ian Stinson, published with Shockwave Sound. Here's a little sample of the feel of the song. You can hear the full track in the link in the description. The first step is to print the full mix, and then a no melody mix. To do that, we'll find the melody. In this song, it's the arpeggio lead guitar. Solo that up so you can hear it. We would simply mute all of these, and then we would print out our mix again by going File, Bounce to Disk. The next thing we need to do is import these mixes back into our session. So you want to select the start of your song that was the same start point of the mix that you printed, and then you go File, Import, Audio. Find your mixes. In this case, we have Free Flowing, the full version, and then the no lead guitar version. You would add these, and then the location needs to be set to selection. That's going to bring those mixes to be lined up with the start point of your song, your grid, and also your markers, your verse, chorus markers. So I have these two here. We're going to group them. And I created a group already called Loop Edits. Then you want to duplicate your playlists so that you can always go back to those full versions because we're going to be chopping them up. Now we're ready to start making our alt mixes and cutdowns. So the first thing that I like to do is stingers. Stingers are short 5 to 10 second snippets of your tunes, good for video transitions and sometimes sound effects. So an easy one is often just the end of the song. So I could just zoom in to the end of the song, separate it, take a listen, make sure it starts clean. Then I can rename that like I did here, Stinger 01, and export that out. For another one, I did the intro. Because I have this break right here, I just banged in and then ended after this break. Let's take a listen to this stinger. Now, to make that clean, I copied this to a new playlist, and then you see how there's that little bit at the end when it comes back in. I had to cut that off, do a fade the front a little bit so it doesn't click, and then let's take a listen. I would just consolidate that to make it a new region. I would rename it Stinger 02, and then I would export that. For our third stinger, we actually just took that same section except on the second verse where it has drums. Take a listen to that one. Stinger 4 is the build-up to the tight ending. So let's look at the end of our song. We have an outro section, and then we have a tight ending. So let's take a listen to that. Now again, we have this little extra coming back in. So when we need to edit that, we just chop off the very end, do a little fade, go to the very beginning, do a little fade, and then consolidate that. And then you want to rename it. And then you export it. So now we have all the stingers. Let's move on to loops. Often the chorus provides a good loop. If you group it with your no melody track, that's 2 loops right off the bat. So I'll turn my groups back on, and I'm going to go back to my full version that's not chopped up on my playlists here. And let's look at the chorus. Now, often if you go right at the top of the chorus, because there's transition sounds going into that, it doesn't work very good. So let's actually go in 4 bars. Make sure you're on your grid and your whole bar grid. And let's count 4 bars. And we'll try starting the loop there. And then you could choose 4 or 8 bars. Let's try 8. And then if you just duplicate it, in Pro Tools, it's Command D or Control D on a PC. And then you listen to that place where the loop starts over. As long as it doesn't have a bad click, you have a perfect loop. Let's check it out. Just name it, and then you would export it. And then you have loop 1 and loop 2. You can often do the same thing on a verse as well and get another 2 loops. Now, cut-down mixes get a bit more complicated. You want to create 60, 30, and 15-second versions for quick cuts for commercials. Sometimes this can be hard. It's good to aim for the last hit to be around 1 second before the end. So in a 60-second mix, that would be 59 seconds, a 30-second version, 29 seconds, and so on. The 60 should definitely have a beginning, middle, and an end. I usually like to work backwards. So on this song, I measured the ending hit backwards till I got close to 59 seconds. Let's give it a try. So we have our tight hit here. We have our counter set to minutes and seconds instead of bars and beats. If we go back to the beginning of the second chorus, that's 27 seconds. Let's keep going to the beginning of the second verse. That's 52 seconds. So that's pretty close. We just need a little bit more. So we need like 4 more bars or so. So I think I could tack on the intro to the rest of the song. So if we take the very beginning and we duplicate to have a new playlist, we copy the intro and then we paste it right before the song. And then if we look at how long it is from that till the last hit, that's 58 seconds. That's 58 and a half seconds, so very close. I think that's going to do the trick after our little ending. So you would just make sure that your edit is fine-tuned and working. I like to just delete this extra that I don't need. And then a little fade so it doesn't click. And then adjust our transition so we don't have a double of anything. And let's make sure that edit's working. That works. And then at the very end, we would cut out the ring out hit, do a fade on this, measure it. We're at 59.9. That's definitely close enough to a 60. So I would consolidate that and name it 60-second version, like I've done here. For our 30, we are basically half as many bars as our 60. So instead of a full verse and a full chorus like we had before, we will look for a half verse and a half chorus. So on this song, let's see how long the chorus is. Let's measure from the beginning to the end. That is on bars and beats, 16 bars. So half of it would just be 8 bars. And then we also have an outro, which is 2 bars. So we'll measure 10 bars back from our tight hit. And we'll separate that. And then we're going to need another 8 bars to get close to our 30-second mark. So I still want to have different sections of the song. So I'm going to take 8 bars for my verse 2. So I will select that and copy it over and then paste it. And then let's measure from there till our tight hit and see how long we are. We are at 27.6 seconds. So maybe we should just use our longer ending. So if I cut out the tight ending, go into shuffle mode, it'll scoot right over, do a little fade, and then cut this from the beginning, and I measure that, we're at 35 seconds. So let's just find where 30 would be, and then we'll cut this out, and we'll do a quicker fade. We'll measure it one more time. That's pretty much 30 seconds. Then you'll consolidate it, rename it your 30, and then you will export it. For the 15, sometimes it just bangs into the last 15 seconds of the tune, but on this song, because of the 2-bar outro, you end up starting in the middle of a chord progression. So I opted to create a little intro out of verse 2. Let's check it out. So the first thing I did was that I measured from our tight hit to find a downbeat of a bar that was around 13 seconds. So that's right here. But my chord progression starts again right here. So let's see how much time I need. I need 3 bars. If I take the intro from verse 2, that's 4 bars, but I need 3. Let's take a listen to this. So I think that I could probably just cut out this 3rd bar and it would still sound good. Let me copy and paste that here and take a listen. So now I have a little 3-bar intro instead of a 4-bar intro. I copy and paste that to where my 15-second is going to start. Cut out the rest of the song that I don't need anymore. I would fine-tune all my fades again so that I don't have any clicks and everything sounds as natural as it can for chopping up a full song into a 15-second version. And then we would take a quick listen. And there you have it. We just made loops, cut downs, and stingers for our tune relatively quickly, and we're increasing our income potential. Happy creating, everyone!